Okay, thanks for bearing with us as we move on to the next speaker. Just going to say my bad joke because I like it. So, moving from Monica's lovely presentation, when life gives you lemons, now you ask ChatGPT what to do with them. So, we're now going to see. I thought that was a good joke. We're going to now hand over to Gary to talk about the future of hospitality and AI. So, if you want to throw up some words about how you're feeling about the future of AI, it's not even the future anymore, right? It's because it's here. It's here, it's living amongst us. It's writing our seminars for us. It's writing our introductions to speeches. Great. Great. Yeah, great. You're already scared and daunted by it. Great. But I think many of us kind of share some sort of anticipation or nervousness around this topic. So really interested to hear Gary's perspective on that because afterwards I hope that you feel less nervous and actually really motivated to get involved. Hand over to you, Gary.
Okay, thank you. Or more nervous. Depends on how you look at things. Hello, everybody. My name is Gary Gruver. If you guys don't mind putting the slide up there, it'd be great. I work for Marriott International. We're actually in a Marriott right now, believe it or not, if you didn't know that. The Ritz-Carlton is on our flags. But I'm the director of beverage. I fall under global operations. That's very misleading. So I kind of do a couple different things around the world, but mostly in the U.S. And all things liquid. So pretty fun job. But we're going to talk about AI and hospitality. So by all means, or no means rather, I am not the AI expert, but we did kind of go down the rabbit hole in the AI realm last year. It was appropriate, a lot of unknowns, and so we kind of just wanted to find out how we could use it in beverage. So before we get into it, I'd love to thank our sponsors. We have the Free Pour app, and then my close friends at Bacardi. I think they're right over there. Yeah, there they are. So thank you for our sponsors, but let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so who has ever had a cocktail made by a robot? You have, a couple of you guys have. Right, cool. Got that out of the way. We're not talking about robotic cocktails today, okay? So don't worry, like the world's not coming to the end. They're not stealing our jobs, and we're safe for now. This is the future of AI, so it's unknown. So I think what we should do, though, we should also take note that there is a realm where you actually would use some automation. So we're going to talk about it later, but just think about those instances where it's a frictionless experience. So you go to a concert or a sporting event. You just want a cocktail, right? But you want a good cocktail. You want to get quick, fast, get back to your seats. So I think there is an opportunity for AI and technology to help us out with that as well. And like I said, I think we found a pretty good solve for that last year, and I can't wait to show it to you. By a show of hands, who went to the Marriott International pop-up last year called All Kinds? It was the algorithm version of it. So very cool. So this will be a little bit repetitive for you, but we'll kind of just lift the veil and show you why we went down that rabbit hole. But let's ground in what AI is. So AI has been around for a while, believe it or not. Before the 1950s, but it kind of peaked its head in the 1950s. And then it had a couple of AI winters, if you will, in the 80s and 90s. And then in 2015, Google had about 2,000 projects going on that was all devoted to AI. So that kind of shows you where we kind of went in the realm of AI. It started in 2015, really kind of gaining speed and momentum. And here we are today. So let's talk about what kind of versions of AI we have. So we have basic and generative, okay? So basic, what do you think that is? Anybody? You. Yeah, so like when you have a customer service and there's no soul behind that customer service person on the other end. I just had that, by the way. I just bought this today. I have no luggage. I showed up on Friday. I think a lot of us had that same instance happening with all the travel glitches. But you're texting that person on the other side. It's not a human being. It feels very soulless. So that's what kind of a good example of what basic AI is. It really is just rule-based. There's no learning. It just says, I can say A or I can say B when you ask X. So that is a good example of what basic AI is. But for the most part, we're going to leverage generative AI. So what is that? That's always learning. If you look at Google and how they are buying up data left and right, and it does sound a little scary, but it is learning constantly, and it means it's more adaptive and easier to use. So generative can really create an idea, and it can go from there. So we're going to use generative AI in these 3 buckets, if you will. My corporate talk there, buckets. We have mixology. So we're going to do flavors, development, and then OOTB, out-of-the-box thinking. That's one of the big things for mixology, is it kind of just leads you somewhere. Conceptual, design, visuals, guest experience, how we leverage AI for that. And then softly, we're going to touch on operations. I don't think we're 100% there as far as AI goes, but there are some things that are kind of emerging that give us some faith that it's going to be pretty cool. So let's get into mixology. I'm sure many of you have seen these apps here. We have the food pairing app, Vivanda, and ChatGPT. ChatGPT is obviously the biggest one of them all. But let's talk about food pairing app. Who has a flavor science book, the Flavor Bible? This is the digitized version of that. So this has been around for a while. I say I started using it probably about 8-9 years ago, but now that got into the realm of AI. So they actually digitized it, and it's pretty neat what you can do with it. So if you look at here, this is that out-of-the-box thinking. So I think if you're an expert level mixologist, bartender, you might think about fennel in a cocktail. Me, just sitting there trying to talk about a concept, maybe like, I want to make a vodka cocktail, am I going to think about fennel? But am I also going to talk about how it relates from a scientific standpoint to guava, to orange blossom, to grapes? I probably won't get there, or at least I won't get there very fast. So this really is like, the way I like to look at it, it's like a canvas, and this is paint by numbers. So it just gave me kind of a roadmap, but it still takes us in the hospitality trade to take those flavors and the nuances and balance them out to make a really good cocktail. So to make that concept, AI is not going to get you all the way there. It won't even get you to a bustling cocktail bar, but it will get you started, which is very, very cool. Here's another good example. Gin Mare is a Mediterranean gin, and then we have a pairing of Parmesan. So believe it or not, these two elements have some similarities of tropical spice. So when you smell Gin Mare, you smell some Parmesan, they have those similar nuances, and all these flavors around it work well with that. So flavor pairing gives you the ability to do that through a AI platform, which is really neat. And then let's talk about Vivanda. So this one, I believe, just got purchased by Diageo. This is a really cool one that has AI learning. Did you not know that?
I was like, ooh.
Ooh. So this one is obviously always learning. It's generative. It's actually taught culinary aspects of the business as well. So really goes down the rabbit hole. Some of these things you might not think like really go together well. But when you really think about it, and you really like, let's just say like sriracha and peanut butter, that doesn't go well together. But when you think about it, like the creaminess of the peanut butter and the heat of the sriracha, and then the sweetness of the sriracha and the saltiness of the peanut butter, actually could go together. So this platform actually gives you some pretty cool things. So I think we're going to see some Kettle One sriracha peanut butter flavors coming out. Yep, yes. They're coming out cool. Awesome. So again, development, flavors, out-of-the-box thinking, it helps get you there. All right, ChatGPT. This is the usual suspect over here. I've used this a lot, and really, sometimes it can be pretty disappointing. We just had a really quick conversation, and this is what I was talking about. If you give a just simple prompt, hey, I'm having a cocktail party, make me a bourbon cocktail and make it fresh. What do you think I got out of that? I got an old-fashioned, and because I said make it fresh, it was old-fashioned with lemon. So not groundbreaking. We're not going to be like selling tons of old-fashions doing that. But if you get really prescriptive, okay, this is what I've learned. and ask for a cocktail. I'm in Miami. I'm on South Beach. I want it to be spicy. So I gave it a location. I gave it some flavor. Hey, I want fennel in it because food pairing just told me fennel's gonna be great in this cocktail. So I want fennel. I want Parmesan. Throwing that out there. Hey, I want it to be like a bar that you can just let your hair down and there's no thrills about it. So what can you make me? If you give that kind of direction to ChatGPT, you can make some really, really cool cocktails, and you can start to really innovate, which is pretty neat. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna talk about concept. So the basis of this, I'm selfishly gonna talk about what we did last year. This is the All Kinds Cocktail Bar from Marriott. This is the algorithm version of it. So it's our pop-up that has all to do with AI and technology. Why did we get into this? It's very doomy and gloomy, right? So back then, I think when we were talking about this was 2022, and then 2023 we actually made it come to life. There's a lot of things like floating out there. All right, so AI might destroy the world. Everyone on Earth could fall over dead in the same second. I mean, that just really sounds like horrible, right? Here's some other ones. Will robots and AI cause mass unemployment? I think a lot of us were actually thinking that. AI is coming to get us and take our jobs. But it was this next one that gave me hope. And it's, you know what? Let's not fear this. Let's use it. AI won't replace humans, but humans with AI will replace humans without AI. Just think about this phone. This thing came out, I forget how many years. This is like iPhone 15. I think there's iPhone 17. So let's just say 17 years ago. You say, all right, well, I can get a smartphone or not. Can you imagine not having a smartphone today? So just kind of relate that to how AI is. It's not going to replace anything, but it will help you. All right, so how did we use AI last year? A couple of different examples. Obviously, ChatGPT. That helped us with a lot of the prompts, creation of the cocktails, getting out there, out of the box thinking. Open Art, just another platform for making some visuals. Canva. Who uses Canva in the room? All right. My team gets on me for using Canva all the time, but I love it. Live links, QR code generation. There's some AI built right into the platform, so no more PowerPoint for me. It's all Canva. This is all made off Canva, by the way. We have Midjourney. Midjourney is just another creative where you can make unique visuals, and you'll see some here. Stable Diffusion actually just animates. It animates art for you, so you can make some really cool graphics. And then OFoundry is not really technically AI, but it's kind of nostalgic technology that we used in Unison with AI, which was really, really fun. So let's talk about some lighthearted things here, some easy ways to use some of these AI platforms out there. This one's called LightX AI. Again, we're taking the All Kinds cocktail concept that we take on the road everywhere. We're taking it to South Beach here. Okay, so we got Michael Breland at the Miami edition. He's shaking a cocktail up. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring Michael to Tales of the Cocktail, and I wanna put him behind my bar at the JW, because it's happening right now, by the way. I'm missing my own pop-up. It's over the JW. We're doing a cocktail bar called All Kinds Dream On. It's all about dreamscapes. So I said, hey, can we pit Michael behind the bar, and can we dress him up in pajamas? But what would Tiger King wear if he was behind the bar in pajamas? So there we go. We have Michael Breland across the street in his tiger pajamas, shaking up cocktails for the Dream On pop-up. It's happening right next door. Fun stuff. Easy stuff. Here is a really good example of some other bars using AI. We have the Expo Bar in Louisville, Kentucky. Believe it or not, I'm not sure you can tell from my accent. I am from Louisville, Kentucky. It's my hometown. I live in Las Vegas now. But if you ever get out there, I think Monica was actually talking about Super Juice. That was created here at Bar Expo, Louisville downtown, little known fact. But the bar team over there actually just said, hey, let's playfully talk about the fact that we're using it. Oh, thank you. We're using AI to do a social boost. And they even called out the point that, hey, it doesn't do a really good job making fingers. You can see the fingers are a little messed up there. But it got the point. It made a cocktail for their theme, a visual based on their new cocktail menu, and they made a post on it. And they did it using Alexa He just did this by audibly saying, make me this post, and it has X, Y, Z in it, and then that's what you get. That's good. Okay, here's some other blends of technology. We have the Videri screens. These are high-resolution video screens that have a flat appearance to it, so it looks like art. We took this with Midjourney and DALL-E. DALL-E is actually a part of ChatGPT, and generated art from the future. We actually leveraged an artist. This is what they do. They have prompts that they treat like paintbrushes. And this guy creates art from the future for our pop-up. Little known fact, nobody in these images are real people. This is all generative from AI, which is pretty neat. But imagine you're at your bar and you say, hey, you know what? We want to switch the art around because the Taylor Swift Eras tour is in town. And we want to capitalize on the fact that she got a lot of fans coming in. So you can literally just prompt the AI to say, make me some really cool, I don't know, pictures of Taylor Swift drinking some cocktails in my bar. Now, that does walk a thin line, though, right? Because we're using her likeness. So you have to really, really think about what you're doing with AI. And it's probably the one thing that is unknown is how deep can we go with this without getting in legal trouble. So just a disclaimer out there, when you're looking at these kind of things, you have to think about that. All right, this is the sticky part. This is the really fun part for what we did last year. And like I said, we went down the rabbit hole here. So we wanted to find a way to bring back nostalgia, okay? We wanted to bring back a way that you would just feel like, hey, all this tech going around us, but what's that? So we took a flip-flap machine, one of those ones you used to see at the train platforms. We put that dead center over our bar. And remember when I was saying, how do we automate cocktails or service without taking away the human aspect of it? This was the solve for us. So we had a full bar. You can go to the bar and get a cocktail, boom. But if you wanted to have that dialogue, you wanted to create your own cocktail, we took a Mellotron, which is for bass, treble, faders, and all that. We replaced that with sweet, salty, dry, umami, spirit forward, crushable. And then we also had a little button you can press and you say, I want vodka, I want agave, I want whiskey. Hey, surprise me. What happened with that was a crafted cocktail with your essence on it, dialed in, shot to the board with your name on it saying, hey, Meg, your cocktail is XYZ. It's going to be at the Automat in Bay 6. Guess how long it took for that cocktail to come up? 60 seconds on average. We made a personalized cocktail for all of our guests when they came into our bar, and it was pretty awesome. I broke my head doing it, but it was fun. So it even had some analytics on the backside, which was amazing. We know on the first day that the #1 spirit category was whiskey. However, #1 recommended brand was Bacardi. It's because Bacardi, hot, rum, you're out, you want something flavorful, actually played with some cocktails that had whiskey in it. So it actually became the #1 recommended brand, and just so happened to be that they're sponsoring this seminar. But coincidence. So the #1 cocktail was the Bot Love. And like I said, that made average 53 seconds. What did this do for us? How did that benefit us? So day one, we know that 1 to 2 p.m. was our busiest time. We know that we sold a lot of whiskey, and we sold a lot of Bacardi 8 and a lot of the Bot Love cocktail. So what did we do? We made a lot more Bot Loves. We got some more Bacardi 8, and then we emphasized on whiskey. So it gave us the roadmap to the next day to be successful and make those cocktails even faster. So what do you have in your drink? You have a clarified cocktail here. This is the Bot Love. This is the #1 cocktail at our pop-up last year. You can see all the great ingredients in there, so cheers to you guys. And also, just so you know, this is a Konomi leaf on top from our friends at Fresh Origins. So take a sip, take a little bit of a leaf, if you will. Has anybody ever had a buzz button? Okay, this is not a buzz button, but it's like the cousin of a buzz button. So it means you take one leaf, you chew it, it's gonna give you a little bit of that electric feel. You take the whole 10 leaves, you're gonna go a little numb. So just FYI, but it does change the effect of the cocktail, which is really neat. That leaf is called a Konomi leaf. There's a company out of San Diego called Fresh Origins. We partner with them. They're amazing. You can find it on there. Okay, so a little bit more about the guest experience. We leveraged ChatGPT for this one. This is robot-generated poetry at its finest. This was fun. I know you had a great time because you showed me it was awesome. So you just literally used a prompt, a QR code that we generated in Canva, and we also generated the link to a printer, which is old school, and it said, this robot's gonna write you poetry. What would you like it to be about? And it was amazing. It was fun. You can see the laughter on that lady's face. But the interesting thing, it's generative, so it's learning. By the end of the day, it was kind of weird. I mean, you guys were saying some weird things in there, so it got a little loose, but it was still a lot of fun. Okay, just finishing up here. Like I said, operations, it's really kind of emerging. I don't get too much into it, but the research I did do on AI and the organic operations behind the scene was really we want to take the opportunity for AI to alleviate stress, okay? Where you can actually be like more present, more working on the creative aspect, and plugging AI into your actual POS, if you will. It can do some amazing things like forecasting sales, looking at weather. Hey, we know when the weather is rainy, this bar actually gets busier, or when it's bright outside and sunny, it's actually pretty slow. So what does that do? That impacts your labor scheduling and makes it automated, which is really, really neat. And then one more thing about the associate in training. We know training is one of the number one things that we have to affect in our bars and restaurants to make our associates good at what they do. Imagine if you could analyze the feedback seamlessly, and let's just say Pat is one of your bartenders, and he always gets like hey, he's not very attentive. Well, imagine if we had a training program for Pat to say, we need to work at your hospitality. So we want you to take this course and become better so we don't get these feedbacks all the time that you are not attentive to the service. So, in conclusion, AI is about automation and efficiency, not abolishing jobs. That's my statement to walk away with. Use AI as you see fit. Don't be afraid of it. Leverage it. Be creative, and you can't be very singular with it. It does do this. It does unlock potential, unleash capacity to achieve extraordinary innovations. And I'll leave you with that, guys. Appreciate it. Oh yeah. Hey, I'm gonna leave you with some questions. All right. Does anybody in the audience have any questions? Oh, you're very angry. I like that. Yep. Hope you're not angry at me. I'm not taking your job. Yes.
So, in playing around with AI from your experience, if you had to give a
Numbing, I like that.
percentage of the way there with a cocktail, do you feel like it's literally just a absolute rough first pass, or is it kind of like a 30% to where you would like to see it, 60%? Is it a thing where one of the questions that comes up oftentimes in my podcast is, could you springboard this cocktail into a menu, or is it just a nice idea?
Not yet. You can't do it yet. It does need refinement, and I would say you have to work on it. So, like we said, you can't just say singular things. You have to definitely go down the rabbit hole with it and be like, this is what we're gonna do. I need it to be in the X, Y, Z, blah 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 blah. But yeah. Cool. Yes. That's a good question. I think Google's the biggest stakeholder out there. They are buying up data left and right. The answer is I don't know exactly because it's still unknown to people like me, but maybe you.
I was gonna say, so I do a podcast with kids, human bartenders against AI in every episode, and so one of the things with AI is that most of the major providers, so ChatGPT, Google, Claude, other ones like that, have said that effectively you own the rights to what you generate. One of the things that you brought up was like using the likeness of someone, right? Which gets kind of questionable, but a lot of the AI providers, from generative AI, this includes places like Adobe for Photoshop, who are now integrating that into their product, have basically said, we will somewhat protect you from IP stuff with our product. So it's still a very rapidly moving environment, but I think it's less concerning than maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago where everybody was going, well, I don't know if I can put this out there. It's a little more solid than what it was. Always cleared with legal.
Always good advice.
I think it's safe to say, for sure. Yes?
Earlier, Matt talked about that immersive education piece. How do you see that contradicting, like, people reading a Wikipedia post, maybe running a ChatGPT paragraph on, becoming a quick expert in a space? How do you see the progression of those two spaces moving along?
So this is the future of AI. So I do think that it's going to evolve, but I think we're in a gray area right now. From my perspective, like I said from the get-go, I'm not the AI expert. I'm the AI expert in what we did last year and how we utilize it. But from my perspective, it really is a gray area. So it's going to evolve, and we're probably going to have some landmark cases that might just come up the news, and we'll hear about it. But yeah, it's a good question.
We'll do one more from Jacob. Go ahead.
Yeah, great topic, super interesting. So there's a lot of stuff you showed. AI was doing a lot of the creative stuff that I think the bartender loved. You probably saw the quote that was going around about 5 or 6 months ago. I want AI to do the dishes so I can do my art and writing, not AI to do my art and writing so I can do the dishes. So I'm interested, the like cocktail generation, the kind of guest experience you're handing off to AI. Do you have any examples of where AI is taking care of the drudgery so that you can focus on the guest experience?
Yeah, I've seen some of it, and I think you're spot on because I think for like a novice getting into creative cocktail concepting, if you will, this helps them do that. For many experts that are in the room, they're like, I don't need this. For myself, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, creating concepts. I just use it as a thought starter, and then I go off from there. But to your ending point, the day-to-day tasks that we don't want to do, I really breezed over it, but really, I think things like labor, scheduling forecasts. I mean, you can spend half your day sometimes with a schedule. So having some of that automated for you, that's not creative, that's really just kind of a pain, and being able to concentrate more into the operations and the creativity of it, I think that's still to come. And I think we have to just go out there and not be afraid to try it. But it's still unknown. Hope that answers that question. Cool. All right.
Which pop-up should everybody go to?
Oh, well, it's all kinds at the JW is going on right now. Yeah, it ends at 4. All right, thank you all.
Thanks, Gary.
Great job.
Yeah? Rachel? Next up?